Well, guys, in this training, I'm going to be sharing with you why now is the easiest time in all of human history to build wealth. And have you ever wondered to yourself why some people, it just clicks for them? Like wealth it just works, right? And other people, they seem to be doing all the right stuff, but for whatever reason, it's just not working. Well, in the training today, I'm going to be sharing with you why so many people are trying to build a fortune in the present by making a living in the past. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in the training, guys. What does it mean that people are trying to make a fortune in the present by making a living in the past, okay? Now, I have news for you. Whatever worked for your parents or for your grandparents, like back in the day, it does not work today. How do we know this? Because shoot, man, grandpa could have went, in the 1940s, he could have went and had like a job at the steel mill making, a nickel a day or what, I don't even know like what the number was, right? But making like maybe $8,000 or $10,000 a year working at the steel mill, and could easily buy a home, could easily have, 2 cars, and easily support a family, have a wife and 2 kids and maybe 1 cooking in the oven or whatever, right? And like, it was no big deal. And then he just lived that life and then saved and invested and just did his thing. And then by the time he was like 60 or 70, he could have been a millionaire. And that, my friend, does not work anymore in 2025 and beyond. Why? Because the times have changed. We are not living in 1940 anymore. We're not living in the past anymore. And here's the problem, okay? I've got good news for you and I've got bad news for you, okay? Would you like the good news first or the bad news first? Let me know in the comments, okay? The bad news is this, okay? When you do what society and culture and even church, right, tells you to do, and that is to go to school, go to college, get a job, get good grades, go to school, go to college, get good grades, graduate, and then go get a job, work 40 to 50 years and 40 to 50 hours a week, and hopefully you can climb the corporate ladder just enough to where maybe by the time you're, 60-ish years old, you might be able to quote unquote retire, and maybe you might have enough to just live the life of your dreams for the last, 15, 20, 30 years of your life. Okay? Unfortunately, the bad news is this. When you go to college, okay, when you do the traditional route of, go to school, go to college, get a job, when you go that traditional route, here's the problem. Okay, I don't know if you guys and gals have experienced this. Maybe you've experienced it firsthand. I did go to college. I went to Bible school, but I didn't go to traditional college. I have a number of friends and family who did go to traditional schooling. And here's the crazy part, okay? Like literally what they learned over the course of 4 years and then went and paid some of them paid $100,000 plus for the 4-year degree. By the time they got out of college, most of what they learned was already outdated, okay? Because technology and AI and all of the internet and social media, everything is advancing so quickly that it's going to be very, very hard for you I hate to say this, but if you are still in the grind of trading your time for dollar, okay, time for dollars. If you still make money by I need to make an extra couple $100, maybe I can pick up a couple extra overtime shifts or whatever it is. If you're still in that grind, the bad news is this. You are trying to make a fortune in the present by making a living in the past. Okay, that world doesn't exist anymore. I have people very, very close to me, friends and family, who, they're reaching out to me and my wife. They're like, how the heck are you guys doing what you're doing? Like, we're way more educated than you guys as far as schooling. Some of them have really, really high up degrees and they're still struggling financially. And they're like, you guys didn't even go to traditional schooling and you guys are doing incredible. How the heck are you guys doing this? So that's the bad news, okay? The bad news is the old system is broken and it is outdated. It was for a past generation. So don't find yourself trying to chase this old thing that doesn't work anymore in 2025 and beyond. Okay? What you must do is you must tap into The good news, okay, because that's the bad news. The good news is this, okay? It's never been easier in all of human history to build wealth in a very, very fast way. Now listen, I know people hear that like, oh man, hold on. He said you're gonna build wealth fast, okay? Just let's all back up here, okay? Beware of those get rich quick schemes. Can I submit something to you? Why in the world have we all been warned of get rich quick schemes, but nobody warned us of the stay broke your whole entire life scheme? Okay? Like those people who are like grown and broke, who are saying like, oh man, beware of these get rich quick schemes. Guess what? If you're grown and you're broke, you've already been scammed. There's nothing to scam you out of, right? Are y'all with me? Drop some fire emojis in the comments if y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Like if you're grown and you are broke, you've already been scammed. And what I mean is that you've been scammed by the old way of doing things. You are still trying to make a fortune in the present by earning a living in the past. Okay, you've been scammed. Okay, so no, this is not a quote unquote get rich quick scheme that I'm about to show you. I just simply want to show you why it is easier to build wealth, and not just wealth, guys, generational wealth. In fact, I need at least 10, 15, 20 people in the comments right now. Drop these words, generational wealth. I'm talking about not just wealth for you, but wealth for you, your children, and your children's children. It has never been easier to do that than it is right now. Okay, so give yourself a hand for being born for such a time as this. Okay, if you're alive right now, it doesn't matter if you're, 13 or if you're 73, you are still right on time to take advantage of this incredible moment that is available to us today in 2025 and beyond, okay? And what is this moment? Well, before I actually get to the what is happening right now and why it is easier to make a lot of money over a short amount of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time, okay, before I do that, let's come with me here to the board, and I want to give you guys just a very brief history lesson on how wealth has traditionally been built over the different seasons. Come with me here to the board and let's talk about it.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the training. I wanted to take a few moments real quick to invite you to join me for my upcoming Create and Sell Digital Products 5-day challenge, okay? This is a 5-day live virtual event where I invite entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs just like you to come spend 5 days with me and get live training on the 5 moves that anyone can take in order to scale and skyrocket their business and their revenue. Now, the best way to join is as a VIP, because VIPs get to spend an extra hour with me every single day and ask your questions live. My most successful students have all been VIPs. That's the best way to join. Listen, you don't want to miss the upcoming Create and Sell Digital Products 5-day challenge. It's completely live. It's coming up right around the corner. Click the link down below in the description. Grab your ticket today. Now back to the training.
So from the beginning of time, let's just say from 0 to maybe, and by the way, guys, these are all like arbitrary numbers, okay? But roughly, okay, so from the beginning of time, like Adam and Eve's time, to roughly the 1800s, the number one way that people would build wealth was through agriculture, okay? I'm talking like farms, right? Like chickens, cows. Like, here's why wealth moved so slow in those days. Okay, now listen, all of these different moments that I'm about to share with you guys, there are exceptions, right? Like there were people who got very wealthy in the agriculture age, of course, right? But traditionally speaking, the majority of the way that people would build wealth was through, in this time, from about the beginning of time to the 1800s, was traditionally through agriculture. Why was this so slow when it comes to building wealth? Because think about this, okay? The only way to make money was to trade goods that you grew from your land. So guess what? If you were born into a family that didn't own land, chances were you were probably going to be very, very poor your whole entire life. Chances were you were probably going to have to work for someone who had land, okay? And here's the crazy part about the agriculture age and why wealth moves so slow in these days is because you would have to go and work the land, okay, plant all these seeds, and then you would just hope and pray just hope and pray that the weather would be perfect all season. You would hope and pray that no locusts would come and swarm in. You would hope and pray that no pestilence or, some kind of freak weird fire accident or something. You would just hope and pray everything went perfect through the season. Okay? And then you'd have to wait a whole entire year of perfect conditions just to reap one harvest. And then after you would reap that one harvest, then you and your family could live off a portion of whatever the harvest was. And then what most people would do is they would go and they would buy and sell and trade with what came off of their land. Okay? Like, think about that. How many of you guys and gals would like to wait 1 year to get paid? Like, wave at me if that's you. Oh, why is no one waving? Because none of us want to wait a year until we get paid. Like, that is the slowest, dumbest thing ever. Like, we don't want to wait a year to get paid, right? And so in the agricultural age, like, guys, it was so slow moving as far as wealth was concerned. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, there were exceptions to this, right? Like kings and, rulers and stuff. But again, guess where their wealth was connected to? It was connected to land. Okay, they would go and they would conquer lands. They would go and they would, they would go to war with other nations so that they could plunder the land. Okay, so in the agriculture age, the way to build wealth was through waiting this very long process. Hopefully everything goes perfect. Hopefully it's a really good harvest. And somehow if it's not, dear Lord, help us all, because what are we going to do? Okay? Are y'all tracking? If you're tracking, let me know in the comments. Say I'm tracking. Okay? Now here's the cool part. Every one of these different seasons that I'm about to break down to you, okay, they start speeding up. And that's one amazing thing. Like, remember what I said earlier? It's the best time in all of human history to build wealth quickly. Why? Because the opportunity of wealth gets faster and faster and faster for every generation. Okay? I was just watching an article. This is so interesting. I was just watching an article yesterday, a report. The guy was being interviewed. The developer of ChatGPT, I forget his name off the top of my head, but the developer of ChatGPT was doing an interview, I believe it was with CNN, and he was talking about how him and his friends, okay, and he's friends with a bunch of different billionaires and startup, companies and stuff. He's in that world. He was saying, we are probably going to be the first generation where you can literally build $1 billion company with one person and AI. What? Like, think about that. Like Bezos and Elon Musk and all of these guys and gals who have built these multi-billion-dollar companies, they've built them with hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, right? And that's the way that they built these gigantic companies. And this guy is saying, we're probably the first generation where somebody is going to build $1 billion evaluated company with just them, their skills, and maybe like, some AI, some software, like insane. So every generation, the wealth speeds up, okay? Wealth speeds up for every generation because of the opportunities that are available. So what happened after the agriculture age, okay? Drop some fire emojis in the comments if y'all are getting something here, okay? After the agricultural age, from the beginning of time all the way until the 1800s, it was this slow grind of just trying to build wealth. And this is just how it was, right? But watch this, okay? From the agricultural age, around the 1800s, again, all of these numbers are arbitrary, okay? Maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later. But from about 1800 to about the 1940s, okay, the next age came upon us. And this was called, maybe you've heard of it, the industrial age, okay? What was the industrial age? The industrial age was people began to get really smart from the agricultural age, and they were like, it takes, 100 men to, when the harvest finally comes, it literally takes 100 dudes, 3 weeks of going out there and swinging the sickle and capturing all the corn husks or whatever it is, right? what if there was a way that we could speed up the process, and instead of like 100 men spending 3 weeks doing this, what if we could just speed up the process? And somebody had the bright idea to go, what if we begin to create machines, right? And someone's like, yeah, that's a cool idea. And so in the industrial age, okay, remember what I said, those who had the land in the agricultural age, even biblically speaking, the ones who had the land in the agricultural age, those were the ones who had access to the wealth creation, okay? And if you didn't have access to the opportunity of the moment that you were born into, then you missed the opportunity for wealth. Listen to what I'm saying. I do not want you to miss the opportunity of wealth that is available to you today in 2025 and beyond. So continue to pay attention here, okay? So in the industrial age, about the 1800s to the 1940s, what happened? You had guys like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, John D. Rockefeller, okay? The Rockefellers, the Carnegies, okay? You had guys and gals begin to build tractors and machines. And how are we gonna fuel these tractors and machines? Well, we gotta mine for oil, and we gotta pump for oil or dig for oil, whatever it is, right? We need oil and we need machines. And so all of a sudden now, like this industrial age began to happen to where now, instead of you having to staff, again, like my numbers are all arbitrary, but instead, like let's say you had enough land and the harvest needed 100 guys to do 3 weeks of work just to get one harvest in. Well, instead of paying all these guys, what if you could just buy 2 tractors and get it done in 2 days, right? Like this tractor does this side and that tractor does this side on this day. And then next day, you guys, this one does this side, that one does that, and then we're done. Like you literally collapsed time and you made the whole entire process of wealth more efficient by the new technology that was available to this new generation in the industrial age. Are y'all tracking with me? Let me know in the comments if you guys and gals are tracking. Are you tracking? Say I'm tracking in the comments, okay? So guess who were the ones that were able to build the most wealth in the industrial age? You guessed it. It was the guys and gals who capitalized on the opportunity of their generation, okay? They capitalize on the opportunity of their generation. In fact, let me read this verse to you guys here, okay? I believe it's in the book of Luke here. I'm looking it up on the fly here. Okay, Luke chapter 16, verse 8, okay? Luke chapter 16, verse 8. If you're taking notes, write this down. Let me pull it up here. Okay? And Luke chapter 16, verse 8 literally says this. So interesting, so interesting. Luke 16:8 says, the children of this world are more wise in their generation than the children of light. Have you ever seen that before? I'm going to read that again. Luke 16:8. The children of this world are more wise in their generation than the children of light. What does this mean? Okay? This means that God has opened up opportunities for each and every generation to create massive amounts of wealth. Have you ever wondered to yourself, man, maybe you're a believer, right? Maybe you walk with God. Maybe you're a believer in the Word. Maybe you love Jesus like me, okay? And you're like, man, this is so interesting. Why in the world do like all these people who are wicked, they don't even love God. They're against God's word. How in the world are they like so wealthy? Like, is it just me, or have you ever wondered that before? Just wave at me like this. You ever wondered that before? Right? It's like, how in the world are they so off? How in the world are they so wealthy? Because the Bible literally told us the children of this world are more wise in their generation than the children of light. What does that mean? It means for those who take advantage of the opportunity that's available to them in their generation, they are going to be more wise even if the people of God do not take advantage of those opportunities. Well, God, I'm praying out here, God, maybe I should pray more. You should pray more, that's cool, but don't just pray about it, you gotta be about it. Well, man, I'm telling you right now, I tithe every single month. That's awesome, but guess what? If you do the right thing with 10% of your money and the wrong thing with 90% of your money, you're just going to end up being a broke tither. So what I want for you today in this training is I want you to begin to be able to tap in to the wisdom and the opportunity that's available to you in your generation so that you're not still one trying to make a fortune in the present by building a living in the past. Are y'all tracking with me? Drop some fire emojis in the comments, man. I got some heat for y'all today. So in the industrial age, the guys and gals who made the most money, who built the most wealth, these are the guys and gals, like I said, the Rockefellers, okay, others who got into machinery, they got into oil, they got into trains, they got into tractors, right? And they were like, okay, let's speed this agricultural age up. And by the way, every age doesn't block the last age. There's obviously still agriculture going on today. There's obviously still tractors and trains around today, okay? But it's almost like saying, well, I'll tell you what, man, let me hit you up on that fax machine later. Hey, let me reach out to you. What's your fax machine number? If you were to walk up to somebody like that today and be like, hey, bro, what's your fax number? They're gonna be like, what the heck, a fax number? Like, could you still send a fax in 2025? You probably could. Is it the best, most efficient way to communicate today in this generation? No. It's like, yo, bro, what's your beeper number, y'all? How many of y'all remember beepers, okay? You guys remember the bricks, the cell phones, the first cell phones that came out there, like gigantic bricks, right? Like you had to wind it up in the car and everything. If you had a brick cell phone in the car, you had to wind that mug up. I'm telling you, man, I'm talking to you on the car. Wind. Remember the rotary phones? Hey, let me check out your rotary phone, right? You had to spend like 14 minutes trying to dial somebody because it was like you had to do the rotary. Like, guys, what I'm saying is this, okay? It's not that agriculture doesn't exist anymore. It's not that industrial age doesn't exist anymore, okay? It's just that every new moment, every new generation has a new opportunity. And if you tap into the new opportunity, you're going to give yourself access to be able to create wealth quickly. That's just how it works. Are y'all seeing it? If you're seeing it, let me know in the comments. Say, I'm seeing it. Okay, so what came after the industrial age? Again, these numbers are arbitrary, okay, but so roughly from about the 1940s to maybe the 1990s. Now notice again, all of these different ages, they speed up. Like this one was from the beginning of time to like the 1800s. And then the 1800s to the 1940s, that's almost 150 years. That's not even close to the thousands of years. And then the 1940s to the 1990s, that's only 50 years. Like every new generation's opportunity is going to speed the process of efficiency up. That's one of the reasons why every generation has a better opportunity to build wealth quickly, and not just wealth for them, but generational wealth. That's one of the reasons why every generation has the opportunity to build generational wealth quickly, because the efficiency of the moment speeds up, okay? So watch this. Now that we have like, okay, how do we make the agriculture age better? Well, we should have machines, right? And then somebody had the smart idea like, yo, we have so many machines now, like we have so much harvest coming in all the time. Like, what should we do? Like, we have so much now and the demand is there, but what do we do with all this? And somebody had the bright idea and said, we should start distributing it. And that's what ushered in the distribution age. Okay, what was the distribution age? The distribution age around the 1940s to 1990s, this is where you had opportunities like malls, okay? Like first time in history is like, man, there's so much produce, there's so many clothes, there's so much opportunity, there's so many products, right? That what are we gonna do with all these? Well, we need to distribute them and we need to efficiently distribute all this stuff. So guess who made wealth from the 1940s to the 1990s? Well, you ever heard of this little guy, what was his name? Sam Walton, okay? Like the founder of Walmart. Like this is where he came from, guys. He was like, yo, we should build these incredible distribution centers and make it easy for people to go get everything instead of having to go here for milk, here for eggs, here for clothes, here for juice. Like, let's just put it all together. And then now you have like malls and Walmart, Also in this time is where you had things like infomercials started to take place, the distribution of these products going out en masse. Franchises, this is the first time in history, companies like McDonald's and other companies, they were franchising their products and their services and their business out to get the distribution going. And guess who made the most money in the distribution age? It were people who capitalize on the wisdom of the opportunity of their generation's moment. Okay? Like, this is absolutely incredible. Keep moving here, okay? So from what happened next? 1990s to roughly now, about the 2000s, okay? After you have so much distribution, guess what the next stage was? The tech age. Okay? This is where computers and softwares begin to be developed. And I don't know if you ever heard of this guy before. What's his name? Bill Gates. Okay, like Steve Jobs, right? Guys and gals who were literally creating and inventing tech. Like, who made the most money in the tech age? It were the guys and gals who capitalized on the moment that was happening in their generation. They were more wise in their generation than the next guy because they're like, if tech is where it's at, then we should build some tech. So guess what? Steve Jobs became a billionaire. Bill Gates became a billionaire by simply capitalizing on the opportunity that was available to them. Okay, are y'all getting this? If you're getting it, drop a I'm getting it in the comments. Okay, so are you seeing a pattern here? The people who can generate and build the most generational wealth the fastest are the ones who tap in to the opportunity that's available to them in their generation. Not the ones who are trying to make a fortune in the present by still trying to build a living in the past. Okay? I will tell y'all this. Like, before I give that analogy, let me move on because that's going to give away the punchline at the end here, okay? What came after the tech age? You guys probably know this, okay? So about the 2000s, you guys still see the time is speeding up. It's speeding up, right? Because every generation's opportunity makes the last generation's opportunity more efficient. And if there's more efficiency, then wealth can be created faster, okay? Somebody in the comments drop the words faster, 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 faster. Wealth has a need for speed, guys. And if you've ever heard me talk about this before, wealth is measured, if you're taking notes, write this down. Wealth is measured more in time than it is in dollars, okay? Wealth is measured more in time than it is in dollars. If you go work at McDonald's for 40 years and you make $25K a year, over the course of 40 years, you're going to make $1 million. But is that person wealthy? No or no? Talk to me in the comments. No or no, right? Are you wealthy because you made $1 million over the course of 40 years working at McDonald's? No, because wealth is measured more in time than it is in dollars. So why do we need to tap into the opportunities that are available to us in our generation so that you can begin to create wealth as fast as humanly possible? What happened from about 2000 to about 2005? Again, my numbers, they're rough numbers, okay, but roughly in here. Well, guys, this is where we saw the web age, okay? The dot-com bubble, okay? People would go in and they begin to start building websites for the first time. You could go and get basically any domain you wanted in the early 2000s, right? Like you could be like, cameralight.com. Ooh, I just got cameralight.com. Like now that probably goes for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Like you could go and find random, like whatever, waterbottle.com. And you could just buy, like, it was so interesting. People were just building all kinds of stuff on the web. It was brand new. And notice, okay, the same way that where's my little laser here? The same way that, here we go. There we go, there we go, boom. Okay, the same way that the web age built off of the foundation of the tech age is the same way that the tech age built off of the foundation of the distribution age. And the distribution age is the same way that it built off of the foundation of the industrial age. And the industrial age obviously built off the foundation of the agricultural age. None of these ever never go away, okay? There's still industry, there's still distribution, there's still tech being made, there's still websites, there's still farming, okay? But it's just that new generation is more efficient on the foundation of the last generation's opportunity. Are y'all getting it? Are y'all tracking? Okay? So what comes next here?
If you've made it this far into the training and you're enjoying it and you still haven't checked out my upcoming 5-day live virtual challenge, Create and Sell Digital Products, what is you doing? Check out this testimony right here of one of my current students. He took the information that I'm going to be sharing with you in the upcoming 5-day training to make $15,000 in one single week. Click the link down below, join as a VIP. We'll see you in the challenge. Now, back to the training.
From about 2005, and again, whoever capitalized on the web age in their moment, they were the ones who built the wealth the fastest. Okay? 2005 to roughly, again, 2020, okay? This was the first time in history where the efficiency didn't collapse the time. It actually went a little bit longer, okay? This, my friends, this was the information age. Okay, information age. Now the internet was starting to grow up. Okay, now you had search engines like Google and Yahoo, though we don't use Yahoo anymore, but Yahoo and Google and YouTube, right? Like information was beginning to just spill out. And anyone who capitalized on the opportunity that was information between 2005 and 2020, okay, they were the ones making the most money. Are y'all getting this? Okay? So what age are we in now? This is just my opinion. And again, my numbers here, they're arbitrary, right? Like it might be a little less, a little more, but generally speaking, these numbers are on, okay? Where are we at right now? And what is the opportunity for you to be successful in your generation so that you don't have to be less wise, but you can be more wise in your generation, like the book of Luke says, okay? 2020, all the way to now, 2025, all the way to who knows how long this is gonna last. But guys, we are in the age of AI and social media. Okay? AI and social media. Rick, what does this have to do with digital products? You always talk about digital products. I'm glad you asked, okay? So in my opinion, like I said, okay, none of these opportunities ever went away. I'm sure somebody out there has a farm and they're making pretty good money. I actually was on vacation in Florida this past year and I met a guy and his business does $7 million a year and he builds trucks for companies, right? There is still Target in Walmart. There's still a couple of malls out there. People are still developing tech. People still build websites. Obviously, information is still exploding, okay? Here's the cool part about all of this, okay? You can still make money with all of these different opportunities, but if you capitalize on the new opportunity, okay, and you build it upon the foundation of the old opportunity, that's where, in my opinion, where the sweet spot is at. So right now we've got a lot going on with AI, social media. So in my opinion, okay, the best, fastest way to make money in 2025 and beyond is to use social media and AI, like I teach all my students, and leverage this on the back of the information age, AKA learn how to sell your knowledge through digital products, okay? Learn how to sell your knowledge through digital products, because when you guys and gals can use social media and AI and build it on the back of the information age, selling your knowledge, you will have access to the greatest moment of wealth creation that has ever existed in human history. Guys, this is literally how my wife and I went from living in Section 8 housing, like below the poverty line here in America, to doing tens and tens of millions of dollars in just a few short years. Like, yes, can I give y'all a testimony? I have a win to share. Can I share a win with y'all? Drop some fire emojis in the comments if you guys want to hear one of my wins, okay? Just yesterday, someone in the comments say just yesterday, between all of my businesses, I made just under 6 figures just yesterday. I was chilling for most of the day. I was like in meetings. I went to the gym. Like I wasn't working hard. There's no sweat coming off my brow. I wasn't stressed, right? Like, and I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying I am literally doing the opportunity that I'm trying to teach you guys about here, okay? Like it is absolutely incredible what is available to you when you tap into Luke chapter 6. I want to read it one more time. Verse 8, the children of this world are more wise in their generation than the children of light. Here's the thing, guys. I want you to stay connected to me because when you do, I'm going to continue to show you how you can be one of those wise people in your generation so you are no longer stuck trying to build a fortune in the present by trying to make a living in the past.